Welcome back. In this video, we are going to cover IPN files, which is short for Inventor Presentation or Exploded View. So it says use this template to create animations and exploded views for assembly files, which show assembly order or component relations. So if you've ever put a set of Legos together, or I shudder at the thought, IKEA furniture. You've seen presentation drawings or exploded views where it shows how things go together. And we can take those one step further and actually, like the description here says, we can animate those. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start an IPN file of the glider. So this is going to continue with our glider. And so it wants to know what assembly we're going to work with. So I'm going to go to my desktop, find my glider, and it's not there. That's interesting. Oh, it's not there because I don't have it saved. Haha. So let's go ahead and save. See, bad CAD. Let's call this glider. And we're going to say yes. We're going to save all those files. One nice thing, and I hit enter too quickly, but when you're working on an assembly and you have multiple files that you're changing, if you forget to save them, when you save the assembly, it will say, these files have changed, do you want to save them? And so it's a nice little safety net. So before we do anything else, we're going to go ahead and we're going to save our presentation. And we're just going to call it glider because it's got a different extension of IPN down here. Insert model then, we're going to go to our desktop and a glider, and there it is. Okay, great. So what we need to do is put on what are called tweaks. So I'm going to put my visual style up on, oh, it is, sorry. We're going to go shaded with edges. And what we're going to do is, back to our presentation tab, we're going to tweak components. Now the keyboard shortcut for this is T, and basically what this does is it tears the model apart. Okay, so we're going to tweak components, and the first part that we're going to tweak is the left wing. So we're going to grab the left wing, and we're going to notice we get this triad that comes up, and it matches my triad from my model down here. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull this wing up in the Y a little bit, and then I'm going to push it over in the X a little bit. And really all I'm looking for here is to make sure that my home view is set to isometric, it's not rotated, and then I've got some clearance on here. I'm going to cancel this and undo. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to tweak both of these wings. So I picked the left wing, got my triad, held down Control, and picked my right wing. And here's why I'm going to do that. It's going to put both of these simultaneously up. And I'm just going to start typing in some random distances. A ½ inch looks good. It doesn't really need to come up, but it's just kind of nice from an aesthetic point of view. Now I'm going to take my left wing and I'm going to drag it over. Check mark, T again, grab my right wing, and drag it over until it clears my fuselage. And that looks pretty good, so I'm going to check mark that. Next part is going to be my stabilizer, so we're going to grab that and drag it down. Let's go -1, and then we're going to tweak it in the Z just a little bit to kind of pull it out, and enter. Last part will be my tail, so I'm going to drag that up and back a little bit as well. Everything is clear. That's the main thing. No parts overlap, so I get a clear picture of what I've got going on. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And then what we can do now is, if we look at our storyboard down here, this is kind of like a timeline, so we can play it, and we see that it is pulling apart in the order that we tweaked our components. So I can see my wings came up, they separated, the stabilizer comes down, and the tail comes up and back. And so we can record videos of that. We're going to cover that down the road, but if you want to go ahead and do that, you can. If you're working in an assembly environment where you're working in a CAD department, let's say, and you need to give directions for your assembly team to put parts together, you can definitely send them that video. They don't need CAD to watch it. So that's pretty nice. The last thing that we need to do here before we can put this in the IDW, which will be our next step, and that'll be a separate video, is we're going to create a new snapshot view. And the snapshot view is what the IDW uses, and it saves it at that model's current state. So it's nice because what you can do is you could say have this set up, and then if you had another intermediate step, you could create a snapshot view of that and use both of those in the same drawing. That's going to conclude IPNs for the glider. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.